Hi, I'm Mark Taylor, and it's time for the Mark Taylor Show. This week's guest is John Bridges from St. Stephen, who's had a battle with addiction, and he's beat it, and he's over 7 years clean now, and he's decided to come on the show and talk about it. Thanks for coming on, John.
Thank you.
Good to see you, pal. So I guess we did a little bit of research, and 1 in 8 deaths in Ontario alone, this is Ontario, between the age of 25 and 34 has to do with addiction to prescription pills, and that's alarming. 1 in 8, that's a lot, at a young age too.
Oh yeah, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Well, I guess what I was going to start off with, what was your life before the addiction? You started off, you were a carpenter, right?
Yeah.
And you did your own, you ran your own business? Yeah,
basically, yeah, my own, yeah, basically you could say that. And it was pretty good, you know. I drank a little bit of alcohol, but I mean, you know, that was basically a few beer, you know, after work and whatnot, and then after I got hurt, you know.
How did you get hurt? I guess that was another question I had for you. This is kind of where it all started, is when you got hurt. Well, where did you get hurt?
I had a sheet of wood fall on me about 24 feet.
A sheet of aspenite, wasn't it?
Yeah, three-quarter aspenite. And it probably weighs 40 pounds, I would say. But coming down at, you know, 24 feet, that probably weighs up quite a bit. Yeah. But anyways, it knocked me out colder than a clam there for about 20 minutes.
It hit you on the shoulder, right?
Yes.
The right shoulder?
Yep. Oh. And I'm right-handed, of course.
Okay.
So, you know, that put me out of commission for a while.
When was that? What the time frame?
Wow, I would say 12 years ago.
Okay.
At least 12. Yeah, right around 12 years.
Were you you're in the Charlotte County area working? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then after you get done, obviously you go to you said you prolonged your trip to the doctor. You didn't really want to go to the doctor. You thought you could walk it off, basically.
Yeah, man it off, right? Yep. You know, I just ain't gonna bother me. I've you know, sprained my wrists and
probably hit your thumb a few times.
Oh, quite a few times, yeah. But usually you can walk it off.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just one thing I couldn't walk off.
So when you went to the doctor, they prescribed Tylenol 3, is that what you were saying first? You started out with Tylenol 3.
Yeah.
And that didn't really dull the pain that much.
That didn't do much for it, no.
And you still had the aching and you couldn't work and sleep, or?
No, well, I couldn't even move my arm.
Right.
So I knew there was something definitely wrong, and so they sent me for x-rays and this and that, and you know, it just over time, it just...
And they put you on a lineup for surgery, which is...
well, they were supposed to.
Right.
You know, they said, well, somebody will be calling you, a specialist, with, you know, so you can go in and talk to them. And, you know, 6 months went by and
still had no call.
Still no call. So,
and in the meantime, the pain is unbearable, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And you've graduated from Tylenol 3, you're up to what? You say Tylenol 4, Percocets, or?
Tylenol 4, and then I went up to a morphine and then the Percocets.
Right. And was that making it so you could actually sleep at night, and could you still work?
Well, I had to work.
Right.
There was no way around it.
You didn't work, you don't going to eat.
Exactly.
Right.
I got 6 kids, so.
Right.
You know, you got to do what you got to do to try to get by, and you know, especially in Charlotte County.
Yep.
Right. You got to have many talents, I guess.
Right. So when you actually. Then did you get to OxyContin? Did you get on that, or?
No, I didn't. I got on it, but not prescripted.
Okay.
You bought it off the street. I was, you know, Percocets.
Right. Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
OxyContin, and then there's OxyContin, which is the heavy duty stuff. That's what I got. Actually ended up getting hooked on.
Okay.
That, but.
And it basically made it so you had no pain. Is that?
Oh, I didn't feel no pain nowheres.
Right.
You know, it's.
And all the time you're taking this, you're thinking, okay, this is good, but there must be something inside you that was telling you this is not good. I got to get off this stuff, or.
Well, I was like you say, when I was doing I was on Percocets, you know, I found out that I could sell them and make money.
Right.
Okay. So
after a while, there's a good value on the street.
Yeah. Well, the Percocets they were going for like $7 a piece. Okay.
Right.
And you get 50 of those. There's $350.
Cash.
Right there in your hand. No problem. There's people beating your door down to get them.
Wow. Which gives you an idea of, and you're going back a long time, too.
Yeah.
You're going back, you say 10, 12 years. So we're talking here.
And it's still not bad.
It's probably worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, now it's a heavier drug.
Right, yeah.
But like I say, I was selling those, and then I get introduced to somebody that was like a kingpin, more or less.
Okay.
Okay, of the situation,
and had a big supply of it.
Oh yeah, and so I'd just go get them, and they'd front them to me.
Right.
And then I would sell so many of them, and then I'd get so many of them for myself.
Right. Okay.
So I had as many as I wanted, as long as I get rid of so many. Right.
Right.
Had so many friends and so many
exactly.
It all comes with
regular customers and all that stuff.
Exactly.
But you paid a price for that as well.
Oh, I guess I did.
They got the cops involved.
I dealt for probably a couple of years. Probably 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And I was up to doing probably, I'm going to say, the average 10 to 15 Oxy 80s.
Wow.
A day.
Wow.
So, I probably shouldn't be sitting in this chair.
I was going to say, that's probably enough to kill a horse.
Yeah, I shouldn't be sitting in this chair, that's for sure.
Yeah. So you ended up going to jail, right?
Yeah, I ended up, I got taken down in a conspiracy. It was all into this big Operation Jackpot, it was called.
Okay. And they were around, did a big sweep of the area.
From here to Miramichi.
And you got caught up in that.
Yeah.
How much time did you get out of that?
I got 5 years.
5 years. Renoose, is that where you went, or?
No, I went to Spring Hill.
Spring Hill, okay.
And then I went to Westmoreland, Dorchester, and then Westmoreland on the farm. And
it was 5 years. It wasn't like you didn't get any.
I ended up getting good time because I've never ever been in trouble.
Oh, okay. Which gives you an idea of how strong that is.
Yeah.
To take somebody that hadn't been in trouble.
Drugs will take you within a month. You can be dependent on that, and you don't care who's in your way.
Right.
Or what it's going to cost. You need that drug.
Well, that's what we had talked about earlier off camera, was the collateral damage of the whole thing is you've got kids, not necessarily kids, but I mean adults, that would do just about anything to get it, and that's where we run into crime in the area with holdups and with thefts and break-ins and stuff like that. It's just to feed the habit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, so you've been pill-free for 7 years now, though.
Over 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How I talked about it, and I read your article. You were in the St. Croix Courier with Vern Faulkner.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this. I just didn't know until I read the article. I always thought that people did these pills and to get high, and then they get addicted on them, which is not really the case. No. You're saying if you want to, basically what happens to you is you get on them, and if you want to get off, it's a sickness that you get a real physical sickness, do you, from withdrawals?
It feels like it's going to kill you.
Right.
I tried, and I only made it a couple, 3 days. I'm on methadone still right now. Yep. And I was on, when I was in Spring Hill.
Well, that must have been a shock to your system. Just like that, you're off it, right?
Oh yeah, it was just,
when the cops got you, that was the last time you were going to get your hands on any.
Yeah. Well, basically, I had all my carpentry tools and all that stuff still. Okay, right. Because I was selling and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, everything I owned disappeared after I got busted. Everything that I had.
They proceeds of crime. Is that what they were trying to say?
No, I ended up selling it myself.
Oh, okay.
To the drug dealer.
Oh, okay.
Which was supposed to be my friend and everything else, but I found out later there definitely wasn't.
No.
Wasn't friendship.
There's no friends in that business.
No, there ain't. No, there ain't. I had probably $10,000 worth of tools, and they disappeared within probably 3 months.
Oh my.
And I was selling a $500 pass load air nailer for $1 bill.
Oh no. Okay.
So
you were hard up.
I had 2 or 3 sheds all full of tools and stuff, and by the time I was done, I didn't have nothing.
Wow. So when you get out in 5 years, you're starting from scratch.
Well, I ended up doing. I did 10 months in the penitentiary. I did 10 months up in St. John, and then I did the rest of my sentence on like house arrest, parole.
Yep.
And I guess that there parole is almost just probably worse than being in jail.
Yep.
And at that time, I couldn't talk to nobody. If I was seen talking to anybody that was known in the drug trade,
you're going back.
I was going back.
Right.
So I didn't dare leave my house because everybody I knew was on drugs.
Yep. Exactly.
3/4 of my family is hooked onto them, you know, and so I couldn't even talk to them, or I would have went back. I would have went back.
Wow. So basically, they're saying birds of a feather flock together, or something like crazy like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Who do you think plays the role in this epidemic? Obviously, I mean, I'm not here to criticize, but the patient is, you know, you got the right to say no, but then you have doctors, the pharmacists, the drug companies. Are they all, like, where's the blame lie, do you think?
I think myself, well, it's basically the people that's doing the drugs, of course.
Exactly. Yeah,
but I mean, in
your case, you got on it, and then you couldn't get off it.
Exactly. And people say, you hear people say, well, why don't they go get help?
Yeah.
There's methadone clinics here and the methadone clinics here. No, there ain't.
No.
And if there is, there's a waiting list there 10 feet long.
Right.
You know, it took my brother over 2 years to get on it.
Wow. To get on the methadone.
To get on the methadone, yeah.
Wow.
So, and it took me probably close to 18 months. And that was with him and you know, other people trying to get me into the clinic too.
Right.
You know, I called for 3 months. Every day I called them.
Right.
And I got to the point where I said, listen, if you guys don't soon take me in, I was crying and, you know, and I was doing everything I could.
You're crying for help. I mean,
they're trying to reach out to get help.
Yep.
And
it wasn't there.
They were just saying, yeah, call tomorrow. Yeah, call tomorrow. And that's all it kept me in. And I basically told them, look, I'm gonna put a bullet in my head if somebody don't do something here soon.
Right.
Because my, you know, here I have my kids looking at me, and they know that
you're in trouble.
Yeah, they know that something wrong with Daddy.
Yep.
So, I guess that's one of the biggest reasons.
Yep.
That I said, look, this is enough, and I knew I had to put my hands, grip on it, and get off it, because I wasn't going to have my kids in my life.
No.
Right, and like I say, I got 6 children, so it's you know,
it's a hurdle to go.
Yes.
Even without that.
Yeah.
Yeah, provide and for everybody and everything like that, and put food on the table and clothes on the backs and something, and then you've got that mess going on.
No, it was just a terrible, terrible part of my life, and I just wish it would just poof, I'd wake up and it'd be gone.
Yeah.
But now every day, when I do wake up, I'm thankful that I have that methadone.
Right.
Because if I didn't have that
methadone, what does methadone do for you?
It makes you so that you're not sick.
Okay.
It doesn't get you high.
No.
You know, maybe at first when people get on it, but they start you usually at 15 milligrams.
Right.
Right. I got up, like you say, when I went to prison, I was on the methadone, and I ended up getting up to about 145 milligrams.
Okay.
So I was just sloshed straight out of my tree, and I didn't care because I didn't want to be there.
Yep.
And the more I slept, the better it was going to be for me, right?
Just at the time, it would go fast.
In there,
it's like they had a fast forward button for you.
In there, you're out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
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 So they don't want to have to deal with you no more than you want to deal with them, really.
So if you go to the doctor and get a prescription, how hard is it, like, I mean, to you to go to different drugstores? Is that a hard job? Like, if you could, there's all kinds of drugstores in Charlotte County, St. John, wherever. So if you get your prescription filled, is that how do you get the prescriptions filled?
Oh,
like you can only doctor them up?
No.
It's pretty hard to do. You can't photocopy them, or
no. Everything's done right there by your thumb now.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's to kind of prevent this.
Yes. Yeah. Because when they first come out, people were.
I can say you could photocopy a prescription and then make it look just as identical to the one that the doctor gave you.
Yeah.
You go to St. John and get it filled. I thought that was maybe
that was double doctoring is what they used to call it.
Yep.
No, they did away with all that.
Okay, so now
no way.
You have your prescription. That's just for you.
That's it.
But you say there's all kinds available in the black market. So you're saying basically, if you wanted to, let's just say if you decided to, you wouldn't have to go far in Charlotte County to find some illegal stuff.
What, for methadone?
Yeah. No, I mean Oxy or anything like that.
Oh no.
It's easy to find.
So within 5 minutes.
Right.
You can, if you're downtown, within 5 minutes you can have it.
Wow.
You know, and that plays on your head too.
Yep.
You know, I'm always going to be addicted to this, right?
Yep.
And I'm always going to have to fight the thought, you know, when I get mad at something or somebody.
It's easy to reach out to say, well, maybe I'll fall back, but
yeah, well,
then,
that's a lot of places say, you know, it's okay if you do relapse. To me, there's no such thing as relapse.
Well, no, I just say you know where you're going.
Yeah,
you're probably not going to come back from it. If you get on it again.
I just thank God every day that I am where I am.
Right.
You know, it's just when you're hooked on that stuff, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Nothing else matters.
Well, you said you go back a few years, and you said you used to have a few beer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What were your views on people who were doing the pills at the time? You must have thought, oh man, what's wrong with them guys?
Well, that's exactly.
You must have. I mean, I'm just going back and.
Well, before, you know, when I noticed people were selling them and whatnot, I was like, holy, geez, boys, what are you doing? $60, $80 a pop, $80 for an 80.
Yeah.
It's about $1 a milligram is what it ends up being, and people were just, money was coming. You know, you get rid of 100 of them in a day.
Yeah.
You know, or take them across the border.
And that the money that you're getting is coming off from the street as well.
Yeah, well, you're basically taking it out of other people's families' mouths.
A guy that's working 40 hours a week hasn't got the money to go and throw 60, 80 bucks away a day.
Well, I worked on the highway when they were putting the highway through.
Right.
And I was making $15 an hour.
Yep.
And that was quite a few years ago, and that was real good money.
Right.
And by the time I got paid, I owed my whole check to the drug dealer.
Wow. That's.
Then I'd have to go home and argue with the wife.
About
where's the money?
Yeah.
Oh well, it's I didn't get paid or this or that. You always got an excuse, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually, you know, she woke up and she knew.
And then you got to face. You got a reality that you've got to face, because you can look in the mirror and go, I don't like what I'm becoming, right? I mean.
Yeah, exactly. I went, you know, I just fell right apart.
Yeah.
Very completely. My health went all downhill, and.
So you could never ever understand how people could get hooked on this stuff. I mean, there's no way you could ever fathom it. You're thinking, well, geez, what's wrong with you?
No,
because I mean, like if you had a ball of beer and you have your ball of beer and you go to bed and that's the end of it.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And the next day you get up and you go to work and it's no big deal.
Well, that's when people found out that I started doing the pills.
Right.
They you know, a lot of my friends actually come to me and said, "What are you doing? You were the one for the last couple of years telling us, why are you wasting your money? Wake up, give your head, give yourself a slap.
Practice what you preach."
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And then when I went, boom. I was, like I say, I went from, when I was dealing, there was like ample of money. I had thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right.
And it was nothing to go out to the bars with so-called friends and spend.
Buy a few rounds.
$1,000, $2,000 in the poker machine a night, and we buy the whole bar of drinks, and then have big parties, and it was.
You had friends.
I thought I was 18 again.
Yeah, and you thought you'd run the lottery. I mean,
basically.
Yeah.
But when that big knock come on the door and they busted my door in, I wasn't at the house when it actually happened.
Right.
They ended up. I called somebody for a ride. They called me and told me what was going on, one of my buddies. So I went down to get some cigarettes down at the store, and when I come out of the door, there were 6 cops that tackled me. They were all in tactical gear and everything.
Wow.
And boom, all I heard was
had you sold to an undercover agent? Is that what happened to you? Or?
No, the guy that was supplying me pills, well, there was 2 guys that were supplying me pills.
Right.
And they ended up being watched.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because they were getting them up Miramichi and whatnot.
And they were bigger fish than you were.
Oh, way bigger. They, they were collecting the big bucks, right?
Yeah, right.
I was merely making, like I'm just saying $5 off a pill. They were making $25 off a pill. Yeah. Right? And I guess what it was is they were supposed to be at a certain spot, and they wasn't at that certain spot.
Right.
Because the cops already got them.
Right. Oh,
right.
Gosh,
so the phones, that's where we got caught up.
So then everybody it's just a big net.
Yeah.
Everybody grabbed.
Yeah. That's why they call it Operation Jackpot. Right?
Yeah. Okay. So how long did it take you to get on a methadone program?
Oh, like you say, probably.
You said you called every day.
I called for, like you say, I would say probably 18 months before I finally got on.
Wow. And in the meantime, I'm
selling everything I had.
Yeah, just climbing the walls.
And working for, I would see me go to work and work from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night.
Right.
For one bill.
Wow.
For one bill. Just so I wasn't sick.
Yep.
And then at the end of the night, I was going to be sick when I get up the next morning.
Right.
So your brain was always thinking, where am I going to get my next fix? It ain't so much as being high, it's just you were worried about not being sick the next day.
Yep.
The sickness is what gets you.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's what is going on in society in our area, right?
Oh,
it's an epidemic.
The people that do it, would you just give your head a shake, because
There's people you probably see in the store. You know that they're doing it.
There's teachers. There's political people. There's
right.
It
hits all levels.
Oh yes, especially once you get up into the cocaine and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Because it's supposed to be a pleasure drug, right?
Yep.
And it ain't no pleasure drug.
No, and you're living testament to that.
Yeah. I've lost a lot over it.
I mentioned to you earlier that there was about the deaths. 1 in 8 deaths. You said you've seen a lot of your friends that have passed.
Yeah, well, a lot of them get into the needles, and thank God I never ever get into the needle part of it. But I've lost a lot of people ODing.
Right.
And then I lost 3. Well, 2 of them were real good friends of mine, and the other guy I knew him pretty good.
Right.
Down here on the highway.
You worked with them on the highway?
No, well, they were going to go pick up some stuff, and they got killed on the way to go into Penfield.
Oh my, okay.
So I lost three friends right there, just in one morning.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of friends that I'd get a call, the next day saying, "Oh, geez, this one here died, or this one here died," and it's just. Every time I think about it, I just thank God. I'm not a spiritual, church person, but I tell you,
there's somebody
he was looking out. He was looking out for me.
Yeah, or you wouldn't be here today.
No, exactly.
You've done some speaking gigs too. You did a talk, I guess, in the Couriers where I read it. That was just in the 2nd of December. You did the column, the article in the St. Croix Courier. You did a talk at the new Civic Center, the Garcelon Center up in St. Stephen.
Me and my son was in the paper there.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And you've done some talks in public speaking about this before.
Well, I've done not really into the public. I did with some up in the Ridgewood up there.
Okay.
You stand up and you got to talk and tell everybody what's going on in your life.
Right.
And that's how you get onto your treatment and stay onto your treatment, right? And so you explain to everybody.
And everybody else is sitting there has got a similar situation, right?
So they take it. Everybody tries to take in the little things that's going to work and help you out to
everybody's
stay
got some tips, I'm sure.
Well, you can't hang around with nobody that's got the habit. Because if you do, misery loves company.
Yeah, and you're going to fall right back in.
Oh yes, right on top of it.
So Vern, did he get a hold of you to ask you how did that all start? I mean,
at the St. Stephen, where I see my doctor.
Right.
I guess you could call it a clinic. It really ain't a clinic, but I guess that's where everybody goes to see the doctor to get their prescription renewed every month.
Right. For your methadone.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where you, I guess, I get all jumbled up here.
Yeah.
That's okay. You go to talk to the doctor and they ask you how you're doing, how's your dose, and all this. And like I say, I was going down on my methadone.
Right.
All right.
Which is good.
Yeah, well, I was up when I got out of jail and got out of the halfway house. I had myself down to, I think it was 90 or 80, 85 or 90
milligrams.
And then, milligrams. And then I stayed at that for years.
Right.
For 4 or 5 years, and I just started coming down 1 milligram a week.
Do you think you'll be a case where you won't have it at all?
Oh yeah.
That's what your goal is.
I don't want it.
No.
I'm back to the guy that I was.
Right.
Before I started doing all the partying and the dope and all that stuff.
The old John.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the real me.
Yeah.
So I there's a lot of side effects from that methadone, the sweats, and I guess you're chained.
Yep.
You can't go do nothing because every day you gotta go to the methadone or to the clinic or the drugstore to get your dose.
Okay.
That's what they call it, the dose.
Yep.
So you go there every day, and then after so long, once you get trust with them,
Right.
they'll give you a couple carries.
Okay, so you don't have to go every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, after 6 or 8 months, I ended up, after I got back to St. Stephen, that was, from St. John, I ended up getting all my carries.
Okay.
So I have all my carries.
Well, that's good.
I get 6 carries, and I go every Saturday. I get my 1 drink then, and then I get a lock box. It's all locked up, so nobody can get at it.
Okay.
And I'm the only one that's got a key to it. That and the prescription place.
Okay.
So I take the box in, they refill it, and then I got my doses for the whole week. And I don't have to be hooked to a chain.
Right.
But I still am, really, because I can't. If I wanted to go somewhere for a month,
you can do
I can't, because I'm still needing my methadone. Right.
So if you get down to 0, then you're a free man again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, this has been a fascinating talk, John, and I know it's not always easy to talk about it, but it must give you some healing, some therapy to sit and talk about it. If you have any advice for anybody out there that has a loved one, or maybe they're going through a similar situation that you went through, what would you tell them?
Well, just try to stand behind them.
Right.
That's all you can do, is be there for them.
I think I read in the Courier, I think it was judge less and understand more.
Yeah.
Is that good advice?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, 100%.
because you don't know what they're going through. I had no idea either until I read
you have somebody. That night actually that we did the thing there at the Civic Center.
Right.
There was a lady there, and she didn't know nothing about the methadone, and she just thinks.
You snap your finger or get off it.
Yeah. So she was in there going on about this and that, and you know, and it really made me mad, because she didn't know nothing about it.
I know.
And before she opened up her mouth,
I got to admit, I didn't
should've.
either. And this has been an eye opener for me.
You know, a lot of that's it. Until you actually have somebody that's in your family, a loved one, that's hooked on this stuff. You know, don't judge a book by its cover, I guess.
Right on. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, John.
Not a problem.
It's a heck of a story, and I'm hopefully that somebody out there, it'll help them. One person, and we've achieved it.
That's what I said to my wife on the way down here.
Right on. Well, that's the Mark Taylor Show for this week. Join us again next week. Thank you.